Hi, I'm Lee. I'm a New Zealander who lives in the East Riding of Yorkshire, and this is my podcast about my handmade life. You can find me on Etsy as louleigh_, and on Ravelry as louleigh, and I sell knitting bags and needle cases on Etsy at Shop Louleigh, but you can find links to all of my online places at louleigh.com. Thank you so much for coming and having a chat with me this morning. I've been really looking forward to chatting with you, so it's really nice to have you here. And just to sit down and have a coffee and a chat with you. The first thing that I have to talk about today is just a little bit of shop news. There are a few things in the shop at the moment, some DPN cases, and one of my large tote bags is still available. So at the end of the episode, I'm going to pop in a little slideshow, and if you want to treat yourself, then you can pop over to the shop and pick up something nice for yourself. Today I am wearing my neon cardigan by Hohi Locatelli, out of a new Lanik DK yarn, and I'm also wearing my reclamation shawl. This is a pattern by Stephanie Chappell that I made ages ago. I think the yarn is Araucania Franco, but I shall link that in my chatterings list as I normally do. So yeah, that's what I have on today. It's all very denim coloured. In community news today, we have a couple of things happening at the moment in the Louleigh Ravelry group. The first one is the Advent mini skein swap, and everybody is currently swapping for Q2. I've opened a thread for sign-ups for Q3, so if you want to join in, then yeah, pop over there. It's never too late. The idea of the swap was that we could build up an advent calendar for ourselves for Christmas time, so that if you want to have a surprise advent calendar, then you can do that. You don't have to save your mini skeins for an advent calendar if you don't want to. You might want to just swap mini skeins for another project that you have on the go. I'm using my mini skeins. Some of them will be for projects that I'm doing, and some of them will be for advent calendars that I'm building for other people. I'm building 2 this year, and then I do a swap with a couple of friends. And we have a surprise calendar, so they'll include some yarns that I've used and some yarns that I have, some fun yarns that I have swapped this year, which is a really nice way of actually getting some diversity into an advent calendar, because obviously I don't necessarily have 24 yarns to put in an advent calendar, so it's a nice to be able to supplement it that way. And as I said, some of them I'm using in my own projects as well, so that's super fun. The other thing I set in motion in the Louleigh community last time was a giveaway for a copy of Molly Makes magazine, because I have a pattern in there this month, a sock pattern. So the giveaway was for the yarn, the magazine and the knitting needles, so that you would have everything that you wanted to knit the socks with. And Phoebes won that. So I've sent a little message to you, and if you pop through your address to me, I shall get your prize in the post for you. So that was really fun. I really appreciated all the feedback that you gave me about the things that you liked about the podcast. It was really interesting to hear about what you enjoy seeing, and I got some really good recommendations for other podcasts to watch, so that was really good fun. Actually, on that note, I watched a super fun podcast the other day by Katie Green, who is, I think it's Runnerbean. I'll put a link in the show notes. It was a slightly different format from other podcasts, and I just really enjoyed it. She's a very gentle sort of a character, and she does illustration work as well. I think she's done some for Pom Pom. She's got 2 episodes out, and I've enjoyed both of them back to back. back. So if you're looking for a new interesting podcast that's a little bit different, then pop over and have a look. This is the socks segment. I don't actually have the socks to show you, but I finished them. So, and I've worn them, and they're dirty, and they're in the washing machine right now. So I'm going to put in, I think I'm going to put in a little bit of film right here, so that you can see the socks that I'm talking about. And I've chatted about these socks before. They are a swap that I did from Amy of the Periscoping Sisters. And she knitted the legs and I knitted the foot, and I sent her the legs of some socks for her to finish off as well. I basically used my favourite sock pattern and yeah, finished socks. So that was really good fun. And yeah, I really enjoyed wearing them. They're just good fun. I love I'm so glad I put in the pink heels and toes. I think that really makes it for me. They're just such good fun socks. So yeah, finished socks. It feels funny to have to talk about them without actually having the thing in my hand. That feels very strange. But hopefully with the magic of iMovie, there's a little bit of video here showing the aforementioned socks. I also finished the Adiantum hat. So I'm going to do my best to model this live. Oh, hi, you're back. Let me just put him somewhere comfortable. There you go, boy. So, this is my next finished object. This is the Adiantum hat. And if I go like this, no. The problem is with modelling hats is that when you, the best view for me is the one where I can't see what you can see. So let me just, it's quite a dark yarn. It's a blacker mohair blend, which is actually, they tout it as their sock yarn. And I thought it would be a little prickly over my forehead and ears, but I'm not finding that at all. However, I'm not sure this hat actually looks that great on me. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or put it into my knitwear to gift basket. And that is not an indictment on Woolly Wormhead's pattern. That's more that I'm just not sure about this style for me. So yeah, but it was good fun to knit. The lace pattern, if you can see it while I hold my head weirdly, was really intuitive and easy to do. As usual with Woolly Wormhead patterns, the crown decreasing is really well thought out and really pretty. Yeah, what else do I have to say about that? I knitted it on the wrong needle size, quite by accident. I knitted it on 2.75mm needles, and I like the fabric and I like the way it looks. And it took me less than one ball of yarn. I didn't do all of the repeats. I didn't make it as slouchy, and now I'm thinking that maybe it would have looked nicer on me if I had made it slouchy, but I think I have a chum who will look really nice in it. I also think I wear a lot of blue, and this just might be too much blue. Hold on, let's see if I can focus it again back here. Yeah, I might just not have picked a colour that worked in well with my wardrobe. So that's okay. I can knit another hat for me. And I think one of my chums would probably look really nice in this hat. I like a 4-ply hat because they, it's a nice one. They give you a suitable amount of warmth for our climate. Hat here. And they fit in your pocket if you need to take it off. If you get a bit warm, it's quite nice just to be able to take your hat off and pop it into your pocket without it being too bulky. So yeah, that was kind of my logic in making it. I'm just not sure that this particular one is for me. But the pattern is really nice. So yeah, finished thing. Actually, perhaps that's a better way for you to see the lace pattern. Here we go. Is there enough light on it? It's a close up of me. Nice. Yeah. So that's that one. I think I've talked about that enough now. So all of this finishing glory means that I have cast on something new, and it is the Tracer pattern by Jennifer Steingass. I think that's who it is. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. And I am using louleigh, which is the yarn that's recommended in the pattern, and it's also it's quite a reasonably, oh, well, it's a middle range yarn in terms of price for us here in the UK. Oh, I've stuck my biro in that ball. So these are the colours. I'm getting hooked on my basket here. Whoops. These are the colours that I'm using. This turquoise is the main colour, and I did a sleeve as a swatch. My first sleeve was an unsuccessful swatch. It was a little bit tight, so I started again with a second sleeve. In the pattern, the sleeves are actually, it's knitted from the top down, and the sleeves are actually incorporated, but I prefer to knit things in pieces. I just don't like to have that massive lump of knitting on my needles in my lap, and just the yoke and the torso on its own is kind of enough, so I don't mind grafting on the sleeves afterwards. And it also makes the sleeves a really portable project. Yeah, just like a giant sock or something to have in your bag. So I did a provisional cast on with some waste yarn and just knitted a sleeve. This is on a size up from the recommended needle size because that was what I got gauge with. Yeah, a little piece of me, is kind of like, is this too bright for my wardrobe, and am I going to wear it? However, I really enjoyed choosing these colours. I had such good fun. I really like this colour, and I am having a great time knitting this. So in terms of wearability, I don't care. I'm loving the fabric, and I'm really, really loving the colour work. I have started on the yoke, and I just started with the with that orangey cinnamony colour last night, and when I added it in, it was just so exciting. I like the fabric, it feels really nice. And when I chose the colours, I had kind of wanted it to be a jumper that would chase away the winter blues. And knitting it now, when it's supposed to be spring and it's actually quite foggy outside, it is chasing away the winter blues. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really enjoying knitting it. Yeah, and whether I wear it or not, it's going to be a good fun project. I'm actually thinking, just this morning as I did a row with my breakfast, I was thinking that I might actually cardiganize it. I might steek it. This is just the thought that I'm having on the fly. I might steek it and put a zip up the front, but I'm going to decide whether or not I actually want to do that after I've done the yoke. So yeah, just give you one more glory shot of the knitting. Whoops. Oh, this isn't working. Or maybe it is. There you go. So yeah, and I was a little bit like, this sort of orangey colour that I'm using is it's a much deeper shade than the other colours that I'm using. I'm sort of like, oh, was it too dark? But then I added it in and it was just like, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this project, and once I finish the yoke, I'm going to decide whether or not I want to make it into a cardigan or not. I might, if I do that, I might actually change the neck as well. I was wondering, I was dithering over whether or not to put ribbing at the neck. I kind of like a rolled over neckband or something around my neck. So I was thinking about doing that, but I thought, well, I'm going to go forth boldly with what it says in the pattern and decide about that later, because, you know, you can always amend your knitwear when you get closer to the end or when you're finished. So yeah, so that project is really good fun. So this is a pattern from, is it Lena magazine? Lena? Is that how you say it? I don't know. I'll probably butchered that. Never mind. Which is a Nordic knitting magazine in English. You've probably seen reviews of this. It's it's a really beautiful magazine in terms of the quality of the paper, and it has some lovely articles in it that I've really enjoyed reading. And the photography is kind of spectacular, but I was a little disappointed because I think, like, the showcase of the magazine is the knitwear, and they have some really great designers in here and some beautiful patterns. But I feel for about half of the patterns that the photography doesn't showcase the knitwear. It's beautiful photography and it looks, aesthetically it looks great, but it just doesn't show off the details of the knitwear, which is what the magazine is about. So I've enjoyed sitting down with a coffee with it, but I was a bit bummed about that. I'll show you what I mean with the Traster pattern. I'm not even sure if that's how you say it. So these are the pictures that are included in the magazine for this jumper. So there's that one, which shows the colourwork yoke really well, and that's the main picture. And then these are the only other three pictures in the book of this jumper. One of them isn't even in focus, and I know that's probably like a aesthetic thing, but then the one that's actually modelled doesn't actually show off the details of the garment really at all. And like I say, that's not the only example of that in the book. So yeah, beautiful magazine, but not really showcasing. I didn't feel it really showcased the knitwear. It just looked pretty. Yeah, but other than that, really nice jumper and pattern, and I enjoyed reading the magazine. Yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. So the last thing that I have to talk about this week is actually a sewing fail. I was panic sewing basically. The hairy man sort of sprung on me at the last minute that we were going to visit his new grandson, which is really exciting, and that we would need a gift. Now, in my mind, I thought that meant we had to go somewhere like Mothercare or Mamas and Papas or some other high street shop, which, quite frankly, the thought of actually going there is just enough to throw me into a panic on its own. So at 9 o'clock at night, I thought I would make a gift, and I started making this pattern, which is the Buddy the Bear pattern, and is super cute, and it's a Crafty Kuka pattern. I have used their patterns before and I really like them. They're really clear and well laid out. The pattern pieces fit together well, and they're well explained, and they have good support for their patterns. So my sewing fail has nothing to do with them or their patterns. I think they're super cute. But I came upstairs and I just rummaged around in what I already had. And I started making the Buddy the Bear pattern. Here is poor old Buddy the Bear in bits. I started making it in this kind of linen-y cotton and some denim offcuts that I had. And as I say, it was a bit of a panic sewing mission. I did kind of enjoy it, and I have legs and all sorts of things. But because I was in a rush, I wasn't doing a good job. So I have little tucks in the feet and all that sort of stuff. And I want to finish this as a learning experience. However, I don't have any stuffing for Buddy the Bear, and I don't want to go out and buy stuffing just to finish a toy that is probably not going to be used. It's just an experiment. So I'm not sure if I should finish the sewing just as a learning experience, or maybe unpick some of the bits that didn't work well and have another go at them. Or I'm very tempted just to buy some really nice fabric and some stuffing and actually make up the toy properly and just enjoy it and have something that I can actually gift to somebody. But I mean, this fabric, it's not even that soft, so it wouldn't be that much fun for a child anyway. As I say, I like their patterns, and I would actually quite like to make Buddy the Bear. I think I'm just going to put this down to an experiment, sort of like a toile of Buddy. And yeah, maybe just order some really lovely wool felt and have another go at him. But so that was kind of fun and a learning experience. But I thought I would show off my partially finished bear. I'm not sure if that adds any value to any of you. Yeah, I think after this I'm going to order the fabric and have another go at Buddy, because yeah, it is kind of a fun project and I would actually like to do it and gift it. So yeah, perhaps I'll just put this down as a learning experience. So that's all from me for today. It's been really lovely to sit and have a coffee with you and a little chat. I would love it if you came over to the louleigh Ravelry group, say hi, come and join in. It would be fun to meet you over there. If you want to see what's in the shop at the moment, then stand by. There'll be a little slideshow at the end so you can have a wee preview. And otherwise, I shall see you next time. Cheerio!